Testing, testing, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 on the mics. It is Monday. We are back. We're here, and we're going to have a great time. Introducing ourselves, I am Dean. This is Fernando, and this is Car Stereo Talk Live Monday edition. What a day! What a day! What do you think of the temperature today?
It was fantastic.
I know, right? It was a beautiful day. It was windy. It was crisp. It was crispy out. Came to work in a hoodie. Woo! So exciting. And here we are. You know, we're gonna do some stuff. We're gonna have a great time. Let's get started, shall we? Hi.
Are you eating?
Yeah, I haven't. Just realized I was hungry. It's been a minute. Had breakfast. Forgot about lunch. Hi. So for those of you who are fans of Kicker, this is Bill Brown, formerly of Kicker, and we're just gonna put him to voicemail. Everybody say hi, Bill. In case you're wondering what's happened to him, he still has a job. He does fun stuff now. So, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Hi. Hello, all. Hello. Picked up a set of Focal K2 165 KX2s. Nice. That's a good pickup, man. I hope you love them.
That is fantastic.
Brad's checking in. Good afternoon.
Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Brad. How you doing? Hello. Good evening. How do I regret that missed opportunity? I also have to share. Okay. That's nice. We'll get back to Bill later, and I'll be like, we're in the middle of a show, Bill. It's Monday night. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's exactly what I'll say. Hi, Dean. Sup, everyone? Hello from the UK. New angles, nice. Nah, it's just there's this giant F-250 in the way, and they're really long. How are you guys in Florida liking the cold weather? Listen, this temperature right now, it's 60, low 60s, is fantastic. Like I said, it's cold enough to where you're like, when you walk outside, and like when I have to walk next door, I'm like, ooh, I should have put on a jacket. But just it's enjoyable. We don't get a lot of it, but when we do, we cherish every moment. It's like eating it's like eating like a popsicle in the summertime. You don't do it that often, but when you do, you really enjoy it. So, hello, gentlemen. Okay. So if you guys have questions, it is a great time to get them in right now so that we can answer them. And of course, do you ever install aftermarket stereos in the Chrysler Pacifica or Voyager? Which ones kits do I use? We do. And I think it's did we just add data kit last time?
What's on?
That seems to be the bane of our existence right now because we did one recently, but we didn't film it. Apparently, we didn't know we should have filmed it because everybody wants us to film that. So, and like we get like one a year, so I felt really bad. But radio replacement wise for the harness, we use the iData. I don't remember what dash kit. Preferably iData. So check iData, then Metra, and then maybe PAC has something, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. What's up, Cuddy? How's it going? Okay, so we do this little thing called the 12 Volt Clean Wire Club. It's over on Facebook. It's a big group of like-minded individuals that like to do clean wiring. And every Sunday, even though Fernando doesn't have the time, he manages to find the time to scour, and find a image that can be brought to you by the fine folks at dnftooldrawer.com. That's right, that's us. If you need car stereo, if you need RTAs, or if you need a snazzy keychain, head over there and check it out. Who do we have this week, Fernando?
Mr. Carlos.
Yeah?
Carlos did this. How do you get the wires?
He twisted a lot of wiring together. But he's primed and ready to put a DSP in there, so good job. Looks fantastic. A lot of twisted wire. If you have done something that's amazing, you're extremely proud of, then I suggest you join the 12 Volt Clean Wire Club, become a member, and post and/or comment. We love it when you comment, and then you never post. I love the experts that are like, oh, this is so amazing, or this is so terrible, and they've never posted a picture. I would never do it this way. Well, you've never done anything, so how would we know? How would we know? We wouldn't know. How was your Sunday?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just rest?
Yeah.
Do you remember it was yesterday?
What, Sunday?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to come to work Monday.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, you always have to come to work Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just enough time to, do some laundry. Put up some Christmas decorations, that kind of stuff. So, anyways.
All right.
Digging into the regular part of the show, this first segment is brought to you by the fine folks at Moscone-America.com. This particular vehicle right here, he was trying to figure out. We had talked about it on Saturday, and he called back and he says, I want the AB class amplifiers that Moscone makes. I said, which one? The ones or the pros? Because I think the ones are probably what my budget will swing. So we upgraded him to those. So that's what he's going with. So now we're going with a Moscone 1 8 to 10 and a Moscone 1 1000. And this beautiful beast right here running a bunch of Focal speakers and some Rockford subwoofers, because I like Rockford subwoofers. They go boom. We like boom. And probably a Fox box, if I'm guessing. Anyways, if you would like the joy of AB class DSP, oh yeah, baby, then you want to check out Moscone. Moscone-America.com, as well as Gladen.com if you'd like to check out the full line of speakers that they also make. It's fantastic. Speaker spacers. How deep can I go? Looking at the Hertz Milli or Audison Voce 2s and a Honda. So here's the deal. When it comes to those, you're going to have to cut the door. I mean, you're going to have to cut the door. Typically, we start with the Metra speaker harnesses or speaker adapters. That's where we start. And most of the time, it's where we end because they typically will fit things. Sometimes we have to go in and remanufacture or make something deeper. But the only way to tell is to get a set of those, cut the door, and then start putting it in and start measuring. So put the window down so that it's, right there. And I usually like to pull off the window rail, the little squeegee thing, little foamy squeegee thing. I pull that off so that I can see down the door. But we don't actually keep this stuff written down somewhere. Who's got that kind of time? We just worry about it when we do it. But most of the time, we really don't build too many Honda brackets. So I would just get the Metro ones. Those seem to work really well.
Yeah.
You should be okay. Just put sound treatment, in them, and make them more robust. Question: can you expand on the Harman shallow subwoofer you mentioned Saturday? I can't find jack squat on it. LOL. So it's a 10-inch that it's weird. So there isn't much, of course, because they're not really talking about it. We'll have some video of it when we put out the live show or the show, the video that we made of the show. There we go. It's just like a 9-inch aluminum cone or an 8-inch aluminum cone with the surround. I mean, it's domed. I mean, there's really not much to say because they didn't really get really heavy into the details on it, other to say this is our new shallow mount aluminum cone driver from Harman Kardon. And I go, ooh, it looks pretty. It's kind of like the basket design that Kicker used, where they stamped out the basket and then the magnet drops in and the spider drops in. All the pieces kind of drop into this basket of such, and then it's just this beautiful metal cone. I mean, I wish I had more details, but they didn't give them to us. They just said, "Hey, look at this." And we're like, "Ooh, pretty," and that was about it. $1,000 for matching 3-inch mids. Would the flax mid blend well? No. With the K2s, want to find a cheaper alternative? Don't. They're super expensive. Like we know, we just did this like 2 weeks ago before SEMA. We had the same problem. Guy had those, needed the mid range. Mid range were $1,000. It did suck. There's no question about it. But no, nothing really plays with those. That mid range is the magic. Like when you do a 3-way set, the mid range becomes the most important speaker because it plays the widest range of frequencies. It's playing from 350 up to 5,000. So if it isn't right, then it's not going to work. You good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Scroll them up there. What do you got? Is the kicker key lock required for a 2014 Mercedes S550? I mean, if we're just going to add a subwoofer, all right, so depends what you're going to do. Like a Mercedes is typically a multi-channel system, which means the key lock is typically not your best alternative. If it has like the Bose system in it and you're just going to add bass, it's not a bad idea. We've done it with and without it. I don't know if there's really a difference because there's usually plenty of bass there from the factory for us to amplify. So the key lock might be counterproductive in that case. Now, if you're talking about upgrading the whole system, I would look at Mobridge, possibly Nav TV to see if they make an interface for that vehicle so that you can just get either a Toslink or a preamp output. If you're going to do more than just like sub. Because then you need a whole bunch of them, and that would be weird. Or you'd need just a DSP that you could do that from, which like the Moscone will do it, the Arc will do it, the Audison will do it, and the Hertz will do it, or Helix will do it. But they won't auto do it, so that's where it gets fun. Hoping to install my Pico 1 fully this coming weekend. Excited to test the amp out. Cool. What would cause my Google Maps to show my car way off on road? Alpine Halo 9, iPhone, Pro Max 14 Tundra works just fine in my other 2 cars. So Alpine has done a software update. They are on software number 7. So go into your settings and find out what your Halo is at. Make sure that it is updated to the latest firmware, which is 7. If it's anything below 6, you need to go to the website, download up to 5 onto a USB, update it to 5, and then 6 and 7 or 7 as it would be now has to be done over the air. Takes about an hour, maybe longer. That should fix the issue. If you're on 7 and you still have the problem, buy something else. But usually the update fixes it. That was a problem that existed like last year, so I hope that's what it is. Good afternoon. I had a question. I'm installing a Pioneer in my 2014 Chevy Malibu with a MyLink. What's the best option for the factory amplifier? Probably because of 2014, I would probably look at like a pack-audio, pack-audio.com. Go to pack-audio.com, type in make, model, and year. They're going to have a pack interface for that. That would more than likely be the best way to go for your particular vehicle if they make it. Now, if they don't make it, I would head over to Metra, see if Metra has anything, but Pack should have something for that car, and everything should be good. Hang on a second. Good evening, fellas. How wrecked are y'all after SEMA? Well, Fernando.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel after a week at SEMA?
I don't want to go back.
Not anytime soon.
No.
Yeah. I mean, we'll be back in February, but that won't be for SEMA. That'll just be Vegas. Yeah. Your legs tired from doing all that walking?
Yeah.
We did a lot of walking. Poor guy over here.
Yeah, we did a lot of walking.
He woke up in the morning. He says, "My legs aren't made for this. I'm not made for walking."
I mean, that's what the Ubers exist for.
I
You
like
know?
walking. I just.
I mean, see, then next time you can walk, and I will meet you at SEMA. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
Right.
just stupid. I just, you know.
I'm just saying.
We did a lot of walking on this trip, just because traffic was miserable.
So unnecessary.
It was terrible. Going over in the morning. Actually, what we did is it made a lot of sense. We got up early in the morning. We got up at we met at 6:45. Went outside, got an Uber, because the show floor opened for vendors at 7 o'clock. So we would get there at 7 o'clock so that we could walk around and like see the show. So we had 2 hours before the show actually started. And then on the way home, we would walk back because it was quicker to walk back than it was to take an Uber.
Yeah.
So the first 2 days we walked, and that hurt his poor little legs. So yeah, twice there and back was way too much for him. So, anyways, it was fun. I'm tired, but we'll get over it. It's more just trying to get your mind reset to not being on like for 8 hours straight. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have an opinion on the Maestro A2B? It's compatible with my car, and I'm thinking about buying it. Yeah, go for it. It's fantastic. Yeah. So the really nice thing about when you decide to go with a Maestro kit is that I've heard any car.
Have you?
Oh yeah, we've done them. And do you know if it removes the factory cue? Yes, it removes all of it. So yes, it all comes out. So all right. So A2B is a really neat system in that the radio collects the audio, converts it, sends it to the amplifier. The amplifier then applies its EQ and all its DSP stuff, and then it routes out power, out the power. Now, because it's a Ford, the Ford has power in the unit, meaning whether it's a BO or non-BO, the brain box is the same. So the reason why A2B is so popular is because they can then upstream the signal back into the radio, and then the radio can put out the power because Ford radios have 5-channel amplifiers built into them because of the center channel. So it can then push out the power through the factory radio to other speakers. So for example, like this 2025 F250 Tremor with the Unleash system, the tweeters and the effect speakers in the ceiling are powered off of the radio, and then all the other speakers are powered off of the BO amplifier in the back. So when you remove the BO amplifier, all the equalization comes out of the system, and the new module, for example, like the Maestro, will go in, and it will then take over. So it will send nothing upstream because it doesn't need to. You will have to, if you want, you can grab the tweeter wires behind the radio. PAC makes a T-harness for that, or just run new wires up to your tweeters because they don't give you the T-harness for behind the radio with that particular piece. But yeah, no. Toslink works, 6-channel preamp output. It's fantastic. You're good. How much luck have y'all had with the MIDI HDMI inputs on modern radios? I prefer a full-size HDMI ports. I'm with you. I kind of prefer those as well. I think it's just one of those things where, hey, this is what you're going to get now, so great. The cameras have been using those for a while, and it seems to hold up pretty good. It's one of those things where I haven't put a lot of thought into it. We still don't do a lot of HDMI. Like, everybody wanted HDMI. Nobody cares about HDMI. There's like 5 guys that care about HDMI. So, yeah. But hey, we got it. That's all that matters. Now we just have to get every orifice on, like, we need Toslink on the back of every radio. Then we'll be all set, right? Pretty much?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Moving on. Dean, can you recommend any videos that go through the process of tuning the EQ in a DSP? I have the Dayton mic to use with the RTA app on an iPad. Videos are going to be tough because they're not really the best way to do it. It's difficult. What you really want to do is understand what you're trying to do. And for that, I would recommend heading over to AudioFrog. audiofrog.com. That's Andy Waymeyer's place, and he has Audio Frog University. And in that, he talks a whole bunch about the concept of tuning and what you're looking for. So it's more understanding what you're trying to do, more so, because I can't just say do this, because it's not going to work that way. There's a process, and you kind of have to understand the process, but he'll go deep into explaining what you're actually trying to achieve. So it's a read, which, whatever. But that would probably be my recommendation for you to start. See if that helps.
I mean, we actually filmed a video when you went to the process of what Dean does when he's tuning a car.
Yeah, I mean, the process is always the
maybe
same.
You can check it out, see if that helps. Yeah. It's
But I feel what most people want is like, you need to do this, and it's like, it's so hard to do that. Yeah. Audio Frog's another good source, and he knows his stuff. He does know his stuff. He's a pretty smart guy. You should play Christmas music while you're testing the stereo systems in the car. We do. I mean, it's November, so why would you not play Christmas music? It's the best thing ever. Joyful and triumphant. A while back, someone asked about PAC not having an amp pro for a Dodge Journey, but I found out the AP4CH31 does work. I only need a sub output, so would the Sub Pro CH21 work? They use the same harness, so... Okay, so the only time the Sub Pro works in any Chrysler is if it's an amplified factory system, meaning it's badged. So it's either Alpine, Harman Kardon, any one of those. It has to have that system in order for you to use the Sub Pro. Okay, and if it does have that, then yeah, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't work. Yeah, rock on. Yeah, the red and blue Christmas lights of the local cop. But I mean, at some point you might upgrade the system. Why not just buy it once and get the Amp Pro? I mean, it seems like it would be the better move. I don't know. Hi guys, how is the new Rockford speaker line sound, especially the 2.5-inch? Thanks. So we got to hear the 2.5-inch about 8 months ago. I feel like 8 months ago, maybe 7 months ago. And there's been a couple iterations since then, because that was like, I don't know what version that was. It was really nice back then, and apparently it's better now. So it'll be interesting. We didn't get to hear that speaker there. The car that we had did not have those. It had the convertibles, which are the P2s, and it also had a P1 5.25 as a center channel. Everybody loved it. It sounded good. Yeah. It was fun. So I'm anxious to hear it. The guys that designed it were all there, and they're very picky, really picky. So it ought to be interesting to see, once we finally get our hands on the smaller drivers, because those are really the ones I'm interested in too, like everyone else. I would really love a coaxial 2.5-inch that sounds good, so that I can go to Brad and be like, and Brad can be like, oh, okay. Hey. Let me do this before I forget. Hey, what scooted across the bay on Saturday stream that had you both look over freaked out? So there was a noise outside. There wasn't anything here. It was just something that made noise over there. And we were it was weird. Like, it was in a normal noise. But there's like people that park out back from, there's the barbershop next door. A couple of the guys park out back, and they also have an air compressor out there. And then there's just random things that go by. But it was an odd noise. That's why we were both kind of like, what the heck was that?
I think that was something on the the bathroom.
No, it was the air compressor hose. It coiled itself. Yeah, that's right. Now I remember. Yeah, so we have over in the corner there's where the air hose is.
Right.
And it had, how when you feed an air hose and it never goes all the way in? Well, apparently it decided that the there was enough pressure in it to where it spun itself up. So that's what it was.
Yeah,
now I
that's
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was just odd, spooky,
All right.
spooky stuff. Hi, this next segment is brought to you by arcaudio.com. Hey, it's snowmobile season right around the corner, and if you would like to put speakers on your ride, that's right. It's time to check out the Moto line of all-weather drivers from our good friends at Arc Audio. Now, if you're still motorcycle riding it, because let's be honest, the weather is just so amazing, and you haven't added in audio, check out the new Moto 800 and also, the speakers as well to go with it. And they do have the new A to B adapter for Harley Davidson.
Or if you have a golf car, where we're in Vegas, we saw somebody put it,
Oh yeah,
the Blackbird and the Nighthawk and a golf car. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Mike Rios was going
you have an
crazy
option
on that. Yep. Is there a foam alternative to speaker fast rings that I can get at Lowe's or Home Depot?
Where do you get that one from? The one that we used today.
That wasn't a fast ring. That was just foam. So to answer your question, no, there isn't. Unfortunately, you could buy some like thick weather stripping. The problem is that we've found is the sticky part of it sucks. And it's made to be flat. It's not made to be round. So when you put it in a tight round area, and you'd have to hash it, like put slits in it. Otherwise, it's going to try to straighten itself out because the tape sucks. But really, there is nothing like that. So, internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we all want a cheaper alternative, but there just isn't one. Where should you set the amp crossover and using a DSP? Off. So on a highs amp, you obviously have high pass, low pass, and off, or high, off, and low. On a sub amp, that's where the suck comes in because most subwoofer manufacturers, most sub amps don't have an off. So what you want to do is set it as high as possible so that it falls outside of the range of the DSP. So for example, this particular vehicle right here has the Moscone Pro 1001 in it, and it does not have an off on the crossover for that particular amp. However, you can turn the crossover all the way up to 200 and something. So that's what you do. You just turn it all the way up to 200. And so now what it's doing is it's going to play without another. It's just open, right? And so now you'll set up your DSP. You're going to feed those RCAs in the amplifier. You'll cross it over at like 80 or somewhere in that range. And that's it. It'll be fine. It'll do whatever it needs to do from that on out. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I know. Should I pop up this one? Okay, there you go. Brad, thank you so much for the $10. 2022 Nissan Frontier. Like the Morelli Lake Carbon 63A, but those mids are like 3-inch. Yeah, they're huge. Can you mod the dash opening for the MM3 mids, or Crutchfield shows the 2 3/4 mids fit the dash, but so all of those Morels 3-inch are like 4-inch. They're gigantic. The little guy, the little 2 3/4, or the mid-range for the Virtus Carbon Nano, which I think is it might be the MM3, are doable. Like those are usually what we do. Like we'll fit the mid-range for the MM. Is it the MM3? No, I'm curious.
MM2.
Hold on. MM2. I should have grabbed the CCWR. So this is really the speaker that you want, which is this guy right here, which is the MM2. That's the guy. That will fit. That's what we do. The other speaker that they're referring, this is the Virtus Carbon Nano. The other one. I think they have a new version of this, but this was the one that existed before, which is this little guy right here, which is the CCWR 254.
Mhm.
So this will fit in anywhere as well. This is actually really nice. Both of them sound fantastic. If I had to choose between the two of them, I would have picked that one. That's why I have those, because those were originally supposed to go into my car. One day they might, but right now they're not. Okay, next question.
All right.
Will Audio Frog 2.5-inch mid-range be okay from early lates? So here's the problem with mixing and matching. Like one of the two speakers I just showed you would be a better choice. So so what they stopped doing is most manufacturers don't put out like the EQ curve, meaning what is the frequency response of the driver. Okay, you have to know that. You also have to know the efficiencies of the driver, and to be able to kind of overlay them in pictures next to one another. Because if you buy a mid-range from Audio Frog and it's nowhere near what you're going to need to blend the tweeter and the mid bass together for a Morel, then it doesn't matter. It's not going to work because it wasn't made to do that. Whereas when you buy a Morel for a Morel, it's like it usually will work because they're all designed by the same guys and they kind of have a sound that they're going for. I'm not saying that it won't. I'm just saying it might not. It's really good chance it won't do that. You would have to buy them and do some testing and all this other nonsense, which most people don't want to do because like it's expensive. Yep.
Yeah.
And a DSP can only go so far. So, yeah. Okay, moving on. 2008 Impala LTZ with Bose. What do I need to plug and play an aftermarket double din? Head over to pack-audio.com. That is pack-audio.com. Here, I'll even put it up on the screen for you. Right there at the top, pack-audio.com. And that guy right there, or any one of these other ones as well, Metro will work. But Pack is where you want to be. And the reason for that is you type in your make, model, and year, and they'll give you a full list of parts that you can need for your car. As far as which parts you need, I've been doing this for 30 years, and I still go to their website and type in make, model, and year because I can't remember this stuff. It's way too hard, and there's way too much of it. Okay. When will Modus know about their larger screens getting CarPlay approval and vertical orientation installs from Apple? That's a great question that I have no idea. No idea. I did see this past weekend, we saw it on the Horizon 12-inch in the Chevy. That was pretty awesome. So that has it, which is kind of cool. So I don't know if the 10-inch will ever get it because it's really not made to turn. I guess if you take the buttons off, you could turn it. But I haven't seen any 10-inch with that yet. That's not to say they don't exist. Just haven't seen them yet. So making connections from front mid-range and tweeters to a Blackbird and the back of an F-150. What is the best connector type if I don't want to solder back there or just suck it up and solder? I mean, the reality is you should just suck it up and solder. However, there are some really cool solderless connections that you can get. So if you've seen them, you go on Amazon, you type in like butt connectors, and what it is, you put two wires in the inside of it, and you don't crimp it, you just heat it up, and it shrink wraps and solders the whole thing together for you. If you still got to put fire back there, or at least hot air, but if you're not feeling comfortable soldering, you can do that, and then you'll be all set. I also like to use non-insulated butt connectors and then put my own heat shrink over them just so I can see everything, because insulated ones typically they twist and break and they look like crap. So a nice clean non-insulated butt connector with that, then put heat shrink over it, is also a really good connection as well, because you can see what it's doing. But either one of those, and you should be all good. Hey guys, are you able to demonstrate at some point the masking frequency Brian mentioned in last week's podcast? No. That's one of those things you just have to be listening for in a car. I don't know if it would translate well out to a, like, hey, do you hear that? I don't hear that. Like, I don't know if that would be anything we could do other than, like, you standing here and we do it. Because it's very subtle. I mean, it's not like it's like 12 dB, take it, take 350 hertz and drag it down 12 dB. It's literally like just a hair, so that you're not hearing some of the or more annoying things. The best thing to do is, if you have a DSP and you've listened to the podcast, go out to your car, plug in your laptop, and give it a try. It's not drastic. Like, it's sometimes 1 or 2, possibly 3 dB on those frequencies, and you just pull them down and see if any of that comes back. One of the things to note, if you haven't listened to the podcast, basically, Brian is talking about certain frequencies that get in the way of other frequencies, and everyone always wants to make something louder in order to hear it. And he poses the suggestion of, well, okay, how do you make tweeters louder in a system? Well, you turn down everything else, and then they're louder. It's just how it works. So by removing certain frequencies from the table, some of the other frequencies that are being masked or just overpowered by it now become more prevalent. And he refers to a lot of mid bass and some of the snap to the mid bass, as well as just vocal and all that other fun stuff. These are just things that, in his illustrious career of winning many, many titles as the Captain Cool Guy SQ dude, he's learned, and he shares that with you. Okay. Keyword is smooth. Smooth is good. I like smooth. Hold on. I'm gonna do this. Dean, your thoughts on Nick Apicilla's solderless RCAs? I was watching another ad on those because he's paying for ads, which is really cool, I guess. I have no problem with them. I mean, it's like anything else that you put a screw on. I feel like you have to be really careful. I have not used them yet, so I really can't sit there and say, I'm not going to say they suck, because I like, you should send me some and I will give you a thorough, like, my fear without using them, full disclosure, is that I feel like you're going to want to try to tighten the screw too tight. I mean, that just seems to be what people do. It's, so, but it seems like a good idea. That's all I got. What do you got? How you doing over there, man?
Fantastic.
Nice. Does Pioneer make anything retain bracket solution for the HDMI port on the... Oh, God. No. That's one of the reasons why I don't like using that radio, because they put the HDMI in a really bad spot. What they did recommend is you buy a 90 HDMI mini to solve their problem. So there was a couple, like Amazon had a couple like weird ribbon or bulk or 90s. And what we would do is we would take like ABS and attach it to the top of the radio and build like a shelf that we could attach it to, so that just like the USB-C on the other side, it wouldn't break off. Yeah, it's basically just the worst design ever. And that's from a company that now sells in-car refrigerators and air fresheners and phone chargers and phone battery packs and solar phone chargers. That was a cool one. I like, you could get your Pioneer solar phone charger. It seems pretty neat. Lots of dash cams. They had about 50 dash cams at SEMA. They had some really cool speaker brackets that they're not going to sell to anybody, which is kind of funny, because like they sell this other crap that nobody wants. But hey, it's not the Pioneer we once all knew and loved. If I get my Kicker Key 4-channel amp for my 2018 Edge SEL, would you go with Kicker's CS series or the KS series? I personally would go with the KS series, because why not? The CS is fine. It's great with deck power, and they do sound amazing. It's an exceptional value. However, I'm going with KS because you got an amp. You need a little bit more power handling, and yeah, you deserve it. You deserve it.
Are you going to change your...
I was just thinking about it. I thought it might be a good idea. Oh. This next segment is brought to you by Audio Control and the Altitude line of products. Oh, we get to say that now because the new Altitude speakers have been announced. That's right. And we're going to be getting them soon for you guys to see and look at, and we'll touch and fondle them for you, but you'll get to see them. They have a new, gorgeous little tiny tweeter. It's so excited about. We're probably going to put a bunch of these in Haley's car. So I don't think they're on the website yet, but no, if you're thinking about, or if you've got the Audio Control Altitude amplifiers and you're like, man, I really need to upgrade my mids and highs, well, soon enough, they'll be available for you to purchase. We'll know more when you know more, but stay tuned. And the way you can find out is head over to audiocontrol.com and sign up for their email newsletter, or just follow them on social media, and there will be all kinds of fun and excitement that they'll tell you about. Boom. I got to see those, right? They're cool. I think he has a set. I wonder if my MTX amp and my JBL 1200 still work. They have been in my garage since 2004. They probably still work. 2004, yeah, you're probably good there. Sure. I mean, really, it's the 90s that you got to worry about. 2004 wasn't too bad. I mean, it's 20 years old. Could it be corroded because it's been sitting in your garage? I would probably say just atmospheric has probably done more damage to it. If it would have been in a nice air conditioning controlled area like your closet or something like that, you might have been okay. But yeah, give it a try. See what happens. MTX did just announce their new Terminator series amplifiers are back. They have two versions of it, Marine and Car. And so, which was funny because the Marines light up blue, and then the Car lights up red for that, Terminator red, because the amplifiers used to be red. Which I was like,
the same.
Yeah, they look the same. No, the end plates are different colors. One's black and the other one's gray. But either way, I was really hoping that they would make a red version of the amplifier. They just kind of looked at me when I said that. I was like, it'd be cool. And Fran was like, dude, no one's making a red amplifier. I would make a red amplifier.
Nobody's going to buy it.
My amplifiers would be red. My amplifiers would be red, damn it. Austin has the PNW speakers. Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Hi from Norway.
What up? Eduardo.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
What's up, man?
You're number one in my book, baby. Okay. Nice weather now. I don't see you guys with the hoodies. I took them off. I'm just freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just really cold. Hi, guys. I've got a basic MTI box on the way for my 2022 Tundra made for the Helix MPS Shallow 10s. Any chance you guys have heard that box in sub combo? Aiming for 1400 watts, strapped Helix MX. Oh, no. Yeah, okay. No.
I
haven't heard that box with those subs. Yeah. And do you know if there's a remote turn-on output for the Helix DSPs has sufficient voltage to turn on 4 amps, or all I need is a relay, etc.? So most of the amplifiers, like the DSP, it's going to have an input and an output. The relay is built into the amplifier, so just pay attention to that. And as long as you hook it up, you daisy chain them. Some of the Helix amplifiers do have input and output for remote turn-on. Otherwise, as long as you're using the DSP, use the input, use the output. That's all you'll need. You do not need to hook up a relay. Don't hook up a relay. As long as you're just turning on amplifiers. you'll be fine. Don't turn on LEDs or any of that other crap. It's not made to do that. So just, yes, you'll be okay. Sounds like it's going to be an impressive system.
Okay.
Yep. Hi. Why 3 phones?
I like his name.
yeah,
That's
yeah. I mean,
cool.
it's because, man. Thank you for the $20. Is a DSP necessary if you have a Sony 9500 ES and an F-150 with the Sony ES speakers front and back and a DD 8-inch sub powered by Rockford Fosgate 1000 and a 604?
Mm-hmm.
That's a wonderful question. And I would say maybe. And I'm leaning on the side of no. But as always,
Why?
I'm gonna get there.
Come on, man.
You're jumping ahead. Okay, so you have a basic what we're gonna call a 5-channel system. We have a 4-channel power in your corners, and you got a 1,000-watt sub. You got a radio that has a pretty decent EQ. It's got time alignment. It's got everything you need for the system that you have, meaning you can go in and you can time align the components very easily with the radio. It's got an adequate enough front and rear EQ if you want to do some blending between the front and rear, so that you don't have a bunch of weird stuff like overpowering you in the front. You can really make the front shine and tone down the rear, which is typically what you want to do. It has other features like crossovers and stuff like that will allow you to do more precise crossovering other than guessing on the side of the amplifier. Is this 80 hertz? Is that 70? Is this, what is this? I don't know. And so, yes, a lot of the times when we just do a 5-channel amp with some components and a nice radio, we won't do a DSP because we're selling you a better radio that has a lot of the features built into it that we need for a system of that size. Now, yeah, so that's why I kind of say maybe, but leaning on the side of no, because I can make that system sound fantastic and you very happy. So, Now, do you need a DSP? Everybody needs a DSP, but it's going to take you in a whole nother world of stress and headache that you might not be prepared for with a system this size. Now, if you ever decided to go like full active, where you're like, I'm buying an 8-channel amp, I want to have my tweeters on this, my mid-range on that, blah, 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 blah. Well, at that point, yeah, it would make a lot of sense to go to the DSP because the radio now really isn't going to be doing the job. But for that, I would be perfectly content, and I would sell you this system and have no problems. I would sleep great at night knowing that you have a fabulous sounding system. So,
fantastic.
I guess that answers that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yeah. Hold on.
Go for it.
Yeah, what? Oh,
no.
I was just... It says, why do I need CAN bus adapters in my car? I just want accessory power. Can't I just install a fuse tap? I mean, the reality is yeah, of course you can. If the car has it, that's really where it comes into a problem. As a lot of these newer cars, accessory is kind of strange. Like, it doesn't always have accessory. Might have ignition. It could possibly have accessory. There is a difference. But the reason that CAN bus adapter is in there, if all you want is accessory, then you should be fine. But like when you're doing a radio, the adapters give you the reverse trigger, they give you the lights, they give you the VSS. In some cases, they keep the car from throwing codes and check engine and all that silly stuff. But no, if all you need is an accessory, yeah, go for it. I mean, keep in mind though, you don't want to put like, if it's a 10 amp fuse, don't put like a giant, the wires are going to be small. So as long as you keep it in check, or add a relay, you could trigger a relay to do other things if you needed to. But yeah, dash cams. This is what we do with dash cams. We tap fuses, so it's doable. I just, prefer a CAN adapter where I can just plug it in and be done.
There you go. See, it sounds incredible. So
what are we talking about?
You happy? Why 3 phones?
Oh, yeah. Why would? Yeah. Thank you. It actually sounds incredible. Yeah, there's no reason why it wouldn't.
And you compare those 3 phones and...
Yeah, you do party mode.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know a device that you can use to read all data available in a specific CAN bus network? You need a CAN sniffer. As far as I don't know which one, but you need a CAN sniffer. They do exist. And yeah. Usually it's through a laptop or something like that. That gets into a whole nother fun and exciting thing.
Of testing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those Morels are fantastic. They sound really great. I love those speakers, man. So if you have the chance to listen to them,
Forescan is only good for Fords. And it's not really a sniffer, it's a programmer. So it's not really telling you what's happening with the CAN bus or the data bus in the car. It's just allowing you to turn things on and off. Very scary, very scarily. I don't know, questionably, we'll say that. So, yeah. When are you getting wireless power cables?
I wish.
I ordered some. They had them at SEMA. I can't wait. It's going to be fantastic.
I just need a wireless backup camera. That's it.
Who haven't I done yet? We just turned that on, right? Audio control.
Yeah.
Did I do focal? No, I didn't do focal.
No, not yet.
Okay, so
Not
next is focal. Okay.
yet.
Did the Audison Accordo system actually work for them? I think it did work for them. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Nothing, like Haley has the Accordo system in her car. Ken tuned it. That's the show we did where we had him like live in like this, and he tuned the car and did it remotely and all that other fun stuff. And it worked. It worked. The one thing that I have not sat in a car that has auto-tuned anything and been like, oh my gosh, is that they cannot get time alignment right to save their ass. None of them can. Like, I've never gotten a car and it's been like, oh, it's where it's supposed to be. It's usually like above the steering column, possibly above the glove box. It's never in the center of the dash. I don't know why. The only one that is ever close to the center of the dash is the key lock. The key lock just does it. It's really good. And if it misses it, it's usually only off by one. And then
the kicker key.
Yeah, the kicker key lock. And there again, it's not a level thing. It's usually an EQ thing, but you can fix it with level, which is cool. But yeah, that other than that, I mean, all of these things are designed to get you close to something that's usable if you don't know how to tune a car. So from that perspective, yeah, they're all pretty good. Other than the time alignment thing, they all suck at that. I don't care. No one has done it and it's worked. It's always have to go spend 20 minutes trying to get all that straightened out. You know. 2019 F-150 Platinum. I added an amp, 4 Focal door speakers, an under-seat single 10 subwoofer, kept the factory head unit. Bass doesn't wow me. Should I get an epicenter or a key lock? So I added an amp, okay? That kind of narrows the playing field a little bit, and a single Rockford Fosgate subwoofer. In the single Rockford Fosgate category, they have P1s. They have R1s, R2s, and P3s, shallows. One of those, I'm assuming, is what you got. And it might not be enough. A single 10-inch subwoofer is not a wow. It's a, oh yeah, all right, I got some bass. More than likely, an epicenter is only just going to blow your one woofer because you're going to try to get more out of it than it's capable of doing. I would suggest going to 2 woofers instead of 1 woofer because you can always turn it down, but you can't turn it up. Putting in an epicenter is only going to give you low frequency harmonics. So if you're fine with the volume, you just wish you could hear the deeper bass on like modern rock tracks or classic rock tracks. Well, then yeah, an epicenter would do that for you, but it's not going to give you more, you know. A key lock would go in there and it would fix any of the anomalies in the lower end bass response, which is not a bad idea because that'll help the signal and it'll straighten it out and it'll get it ready for when you're going to add 2 subwoofers to it. But either the epicenter or the key lock, if you want more volume, neither one of those is going to do it for you. So 5-channel Rockford Fosgate amp. Oh, okay. Probably add another subwoofer. Go for 2. And then get an epicenter. Because they're awesome.
The new one?
But yeah, whatever. Just get an epicenter. Everybody wants an epicenter. What am I doing?
You want to change?
I would love to change. This last segment is brought to you by the fine folks at Focal-America.com. I don't know what else to say. If you guys don't know by now, these are some of the best speakers on the planet, and they make everybody happy. Go look at them. Focal-America.com. They have a speaker for you. Rock out, bitches. Okay. How to swap stock Infinity amp for aftermarket 4-channel amp. Wait, what? Oh, in a 20 Jeep JW using stock wiring and some sort of adapter. Are we keeping the factory radio? I mean, these things all exist in like plentiful. Pack-audio.com. Just type in the make, model, and year of the Jeep, and they'll list everything, every harness, everything that's available for that vehicle, and that's it. That's where I'm starting. If it's just a basic, they'll have it for behind the radio. If it has a premium audio, they'll have it for at the amplifier. And if Pack doesn't have it, MetroOnline.com will have it. But those are the two places. I mean, listen, when these things show up, we just go to these websites just like we tell you to do, and we find the pieces that we need. Typically, we will be a little bit ahead of the game because we're going to pull out the old equipment. So we're going to pull the radio so we can see what that harness looks like so that I'm not guessing or buying the wrong thing. That's where a lot of the times you guys don't do that because you're just like, I just want to go and buy this and then we'll all do it. No. Sometimes you have to do a little bit of homework and you got to start pulling things out before you actually do the install. So if it's non-premium, pull the factory radio out, see what the plug looks like, head over to one of those two sites, buy the right harness, and you'll be all set. And if it is the premium, well, there again, same thing. They have amplifier bypass plugs as well. Now, the thing you may have to do is if you can find the plug might be wrong. You may have to repin it and or just use wrong color wiring to get your situation done, which is what we do all the time because I really don't care about the color. I just need a plug.
All right, so this.
All front speakers are on stock amp. Everything else is Alpine. Okay. Audio control, Epic 4. I'm getting a lot of floor noise. I have to keep the gain all the way down. Is there something I did wrong on the installation? Factory bass audio 2023 cord, kicker high to low adapter, 2 channels to amp. So floor noise can come from a couple different things. The basic high level to low level adapter is probably the problem. You probably need a better high to low because that adapter sucks for high voltage systems. I'm not a fan of that adapter. It's a good adapter, but it's not enough for a lot of vehicles nowadays. I would recommend maybe getting an LC2i, an LC1i, an LC5i Pro, something along those lines, a better high level to low level adapter if the amplifier you're using doesn't have a high level, which it doesn't because it's an Epic 4 channel. Okay, so get a better high level to low level adapter is really where you want to start. The other thing too that can cause that is depending on the tweeters you used. So if you're using loudspeakers, then you're going to get floor noise because a lot of the loudspeakers are like 103 dBs of efficiency, which you're going to hear everything. It's like you're going to hear everything out. Now, if it's a conventional speaker, that goes back to you should get a better high level to low level adapter. Keep in mind that the high level to low level, if that's what you're using, is the bridge between the radio and the amplifier. If you have a decent amplifier and you got an okay source unit and you buy the cheapest device to go between the two, it really sucks because there's your lowest common denominator. So definitely want to go back and get a better one. When you guys use a DSR1, where do you guys like to set the punch EQ? I start at half. I always start at half. And yes, that is a CNC behind us. I always start at half, and we kind of rock it from there and see what it does. Sometimes I'll go up to 3/4. If I'm integrated into a Chrysler, then the Chrysler can actually control it. Most uses for it can, and then you're all set. But yeah, I always start at 6. 6 is usually a good spot. Good spot to do things. Hey guys, anything new from SEMA for the 2025 Toyota Tacoma? No, not a thing. Nobody even talked about it. Nobody cares. It's like new cars. What are those?
But that was a huge Toyota
Spit it
display.
out. Well, there always is. Toyota always goes to SEMA.
Yeah,
but
they had the new 4Runners and yeah.
No, the reality is like stuff like that. Those aren't the shows for that. Like no one there is going to care about a 2025 because like Metro would be the only company that would talk about something like that. Mm-hmm. And they had a new radio they were introducing and some new harnesses that they were introducing. So stuff like that, just kind of like we'll worry about that another day, not today. So yeah, and then like when you look at all the other manufacturers that are working on like kits for the cars, they're not working on kits for new cars because most people with new cars just aren't going to spend the money, which that's how they feel. I feel differently. But yeah, it's just nobody's talking about car specific stuff anymore. I mean, like for like kits and harnesses and cool interaction, that's like we don't see it. Thanks a lot, guys. Not sure I worded what I'm looking for correctly. It's a possibility, and there is always something that's lost in translation. We try. Okay, hold on. What is this? It says, yes, Infinity Gold, and just wanted to swap stock amp at stock location. Haven't found a connector for a stock amp. No, and there again, there probably is one. You just need to see the harness and go to those sites, and you can type in those cars. So like Metro is a great place to go because you can just type in Chrysler amplifier or Jeep amplifier bypass, and it'll literally show you keywords of everything, and they do a great job of having pictures of the harnesses. And if you know what your harness looks like, then you can compare it to the picture, and then you can order the harness. So that's what we were trying to say. So anyways, great show. See you Friday morning. Oh, Friday morning for the news. Is it worth putting a DSP in a regular cab truck? Is there any gain or benefit to it? Well, it really just depends on what else is in there. I mean, if all you have is just a truck and you're going to put a DSP in it, what else do you have? Do you have a multi-channel amplifier? Is a DSP will go in anything and make anything sound better if set up properly. However, it's not the end all be all. Meaning, if you're just like, I have a set of coaxials or a set of components that are passively crossed over, like we talked about earlier, a radio would be fine for that because a radio is DSP. It's still a DSP. It's just basic, and you have a basic system, so there's really no reason to go crazy. Now, if you're sneeze.
You talking about the truck?
Well, no, I was going to say is like Chris Pate's truck, who we've had on before.
But this is the question you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
He had a single cab C10 pickup truck.
Yeah.
And it's heavily DSP, because there's all kinds of speaker locations in it. And the only way to get that to actually work and sound like, Pinky's Out amazing is a DSP. So
we put DSPs in single.
Oh, we put all the time.
Board, yeah.
It just depends on your goal and what it is you are trying to do. You have to have goals in life.
My goal is to not work anymore.
You're probably not gonna.
That's not gonna happen.
And there we go. DSP for the win. 100%.
DSP for the win. That's for sure.
Okay. Now, with that being said, what?
Oh.
No, it's good.
You got it?
Yeah, we're good.
Before you go, that was the last one.
Do you have a recommendations way to run power and ground wires through a 2004 F-150 Lightning through the cab or underneath? We prefer to go through the cab. However, underneath is really good. If you're going to go underneath, I would recommend getting the really heavy duty magnets with zip tie adapters on them, and you can zip tie it right to the frame rail of the truck, because that is actually steel. And so you can, if you want to go outside, just make sure you heavily insulate it so that you don't have any problems down the road. But yes, you can go to Amazon and they just type in magnet zip tie connectors and you'll find them. Get the heavy ones so that it doesn't come off. And I would recommend putting one every 12 inches and you should be okay. And with that being said, I'd like to thank all you guys for tuning in tonight and watching the show. Thank you so much. You guys asked a lot of questions tonight. I love it. I don't even remember. It's kind of a blur. I don't even remember what happened. We started and now it's over. It's crazy. I'd like to thank all of the sponsors of the show: Arc Audio, Audio Control, Moscone, Gladen, as well as Focal. These are the people that make this show possible for us to do.
That's right.
Without them, we'd have to find somebody else. And of course, you can head over to DNF Tool Drawer, DNF Swag. .com, DNF Tool Drawer, where you can find the IRT A2, get a keychain, all kinds of fun stuff. Christmas is right around the corner.
Yes.
I'd like to do a sale with the IRT A2s, but it always does terrible. Like this time of the year, no one ever, everyone's out buying other stuff. So maybe we'll do one after the first of the year. I don't know. We'll see.
What do you guys think?
Let me know. Yeah. And that's it. You guys have a wonderful night.